the musical landscape from a business standpoint is just not the same as it was in the 80s and 90s, you know?
Ever since COVID, we're living in a time where people are either living in that heightened highs and lows, or you're trying to maintain a complete baseline. I only joined the dark side after the Xbox One came out. You know, I was like,
Yeah. I had an incident where somebody held me at gunpoint.
really appreciate you being vulnerable like that. Not just with that story, but you know, your whole career.
And now we're married.
Oh wait, you guys are
Oh,
married?
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh shit. You didn't even want to put it on the album?
No. Yeah, it's really about just kind of like two souls that are watching the world around them fall apart.
Came home from the bus one day and some drunk dude, and it ended up with a scuffle where I got my lip busted.
My one and only regret in life is
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Off the Mark. Today, I am joined with Danielle and Ethan of Orphan
Ian.
Prodigy.
Sorry, Ian.
Oh,
Just
Ian.
had to catch that.
I am here with Ian and Danielle of Orphan Prodigy. We got connected through your friend Danny. How long have you been working with her? She's your publicist, correct?
You know, she is. It's interesting. I actually met her back in 2011 at some networking open mic thing, and all these years later, in 2025, we reconnected. Just last year, we reconnected. It's funny how, you know, people that kind of stay in the music world are kind of the same people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
link back up.
Yeah. Oh, you go ahead. What you say,
Just
man?
saying they link back up, you know.
Oh yeah. I got connected with her through my previous episode I just released. She's friends with you. You don't know Aletha Bucal, do you? By any chance?
Yeah, I think I went to school with her. She's my Facebook friend.
Oh
Yeah, she
shoot.
went to Sinatra with me, I think.
Oh well, she's my my voice coach, my singing coach.
That's
And
crazy.
a good friend of mine. Yeah, no, it's you know, the small world, you know, these type of connections that come up. But yeah, Danny saw my podcast and wanted me to link up with you guys, and I started listening to your music, and I was like, yes, link me up with these guys. These guys are great. So can you just give us a little background on who you are and what Orphan Prodigy is all about?
So I'm Ian, and the project's Orphan Prodigy. This is my cohort Danielle, and
Hello.
we've been doing this for I guess we released the record last year, and it's been a journey. I mean, the project itself started back in 2019, right before the pandemic hit, and I had been up until that point. I had been in a touring band for
Mhm.
almost 2 decades, and I hit a point when I gotten off that last tour where I became agoraphobic and I was unable to leave the house. I don't know. It was weird. It was just like I woke up one day and I just couldn't move. And just the thought of leaving my apartment was crazy and
Mhm.
made things really challenging for a while. And
Well, your panic became severe.
yeah, my panic became severe. I eventually my family kind of intervened and got involved and tried, you know, wanted to help me as best they could. They were really concerned, and luckily, we were able to find this great place where they did exposure therapy, which is basically kind of throwing me into the fire, like you know, into like malls and situations where there's like a lot of people, and you know,
Confronting your fears.
yeah, confronting my fears, and you know, couple. I think it wasn't a couple. It was more like 4 or 5 months later. I I was able to kind of resume being a functional member of society, so to speak.
Wonderful. I'm glad. I'm glad the treatment worked out and you're able to get back to normal living. I feel you. I've struggled with an anxiety disorder since I was a kid, and parts of my life I also had trouble leaving the house. So, I mean, you continuing with your live music and you know, using that as inspiration for your work. And I applaud you and glad to
Thank
see
you.
hear that your the exposure therapy worked. I know you're in New York, so was part of it just like pushing you out of a van in Times Square in the middle of rush hour and say like come back in like 30 minutes?
Dude, we were
That's
watching
like top
we
tier.
were wa yeah, that's like S tier exposure therapy. We would go to the malls and stuff like that. A big part of it actually was trains, and it's really ironic because growing up, I was a huge train freak, and I loved having train sets and
Mhm,
all that. And
And living close to a train.
living
See.
close to a train in Queens, I'd have to, public transportation was a big part of it, and
mhm.
yeah, so, I was unable to ride the trains. It was like this terrifying feeling, and that was a huge part of it. And to this day, I still struggle with it. It's just like the most ironic, weird thing. But so after the exposure therapy happened, I kind of needed to reevaluate kind of where I was in the industry, what I wanted to do next, because
Mhm.
I'd been touring 5, 6 nights a week for, almost 2 years, sorry, 20 years. And, so it was really kind of a daunting thing to think about. But ultimately, I'd always written my own songs. I was always the sole songwriter. I wrote everything in the box, kind of on my laptop all the time, and would send it
Mhm.
out to my guys, and they would learn it, you know and then we'd play it live, but or make albums. But so eventually I was like, all right, well, maybe I should try my hand at production. And so I found this great place in Arizona, the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences. I actually moved there because I was feeling, really like I can live again, and I'm all excited, and this and that. So I ended up graduating that program, but it wasn't too it was like I was there for, like, 2 weeks, and then we entered, like, the learning, digital audio workstations like Pro Tools and Logic and stuff like that, and then once we started learning Logic, I was like, "Oh my god," like, I had this epiphany, and I was like, because I already write in MIDI, everything I write is MIDI. So, I just started importing my MIDI compositions into Logic, and I was like, "This is the next thing, this is the next project I'm gonna be working on." So obviously the pandemic happened, and that kind of shut things up for a bit. But
Yeah.
um, actually, during the pandemic, we actually shot the Getaway video, the first single off the album, and it was just us and the videographer. It was like a three. It was a really small crew. It's the smallest crew I've ever worked with.
Mm.
So
Skeleton crew.
yeah, but yeah. So I mean, it's been. I think this project is like so unapologetically me and us, and I think there was going into it, I was like, I'm on top. I feel good right now. I feel great. And subconsciously, I think I told myself I'm not going to ever make another creative compromise ever again.
Mm,
And 'cause that's something I did a lot. When you're in a band, you appease egos, you appease your own ego, the producer's ego, the other bandmates.
right.
It's just it's a very, call it collaborative, but it can be also quite destructive to the original intent as well at some points.
Mhm.
Um, and so this project is like 200%, just unfiltered.
200% Ian Keller.
I have help. I have glorious help. I have glorious help. So
Well, I wanted to get into that. So, Danielle, what's your background and how did you guys get connected with each other?
Yeah, well, we actually met around the time Ian, just before he went off to Arizona for Crass.
Mhm.
Um, so our relationship started right before the pandemic, 'cause aligning with Crass, and Orphan Prodigy started as a passion project, and I was really encouraging Ian to keep writing, keep doing his thing while he was learning about post production, which only helped further his skills making the music for Orphan Prodigy. So I've always kind of been involved in the background. We've had, I think, or the pandemic itself allowed a really unique way of sharing music, which was having kind of a stage at home and being able to live stream and have virtual like concerts basically. So I was in the background helping those concerts along, and one day Ian, fast forward a couple years, and Ian was
It was
like,
last year.
what was it, last year? Like, "You're gonna be the band, like, why not at this point?" And threw me on stage.
A week before the show, I
Wow.
said, "You're
Yeah,
gonna be on stage."
a week before the show, right. But I've always had an input with the creativity part. I never really considered myself creative, but it's been really fun. With the music videos, Ian will run by the songs, like, the last listen will usually be me and him.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, during the shows, I'm up there doing some sampling. I got my shaker going up there, going on.
She kinda does a bit of everything. She's underselling it. She's like an auxiliary percussionist. She's got the backup vocals. She's also running the
Music,
majority of the show,
the show and the
Mhm.
lights.
so there's a lot going on
There's a
there.
lot, and it's fun. It's really been a sink or swim, but that's always how I've learned.
I threw her
Mhm.
into the fire, so
Yeah, but I'm also a trained, licensed psychologist.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so I that's my day job. But I love being part of the band, and I love the fact that our music and our album really speaks to mental health,
Mhm.
advocacy, and just connecting with people in that way is really great. I love, just being really proud that we can, be that voice for people, be that outlet. And
Mhm.
yes, it's, so needed in the world that we live in today.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, yeah. Hopefully that answered your question. That was
No,
a
it did. So
long
y
one.
it's the band is just you 2, or is there more people? Because I saw your YouTube channel. The profile picture has, like, 4 or 5 bandmates, correct?
yeah, so we have a drummer and a bass player that we tour with.
Okay. So, uh, Ian's the front man, vocalist, and sounds like Danielle, your percussionist backup, like, your producer, kind of,
Yeah,
like
I'll take it.
Like, all-encompassing live woman.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. But
How did you guys end up getting connected?
how did we
How did we
connect?
connect? I guess the first time was probably when, uh, you were sitting at the train
I
station.
was gonna say, ironically, a train station.
Yeah, ironically, a train station.
Were you at a train station, started feeling anxious, and she came up to you and was like, "Hey, I'm a trained psychologist, I can help," and then
Well,
was
sort
that
of. So it's funny because I was honestly feeling anxious that day, and I was having a hard time, and I was like, "Okay, like, I have to do something to snap out of this because I had somewhere to be that day." It was actually, like, talking to somebody to, like a recording studio I was, like, scouting out. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I saw Danielle, and I never I'm ashamed to say that I never really have approached people that I'm interested in, and, I approached you.
Yeah.
And, yeah, she responded in kind, I guess, and we
Yeah.
just started talking about music and, old TV shows, we happened to
Learned that
just be the same
That's
age
what I was
and
gonna say. We learned that we grew up around the same era and we're the same age, and we just hit it off and we never looked back.
yeah, we started talking about, like, Hey Arnold and shit.
Yeah.
That's a good way to bond. I also grew up watching Hey Arnold. I love that show.
Recess, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Recess, yep, Saturday morning cartoons when they still
Yeah.
were a thing.
Yeah, these poor kids now.
Well, that's a great story of how you guys met. It's just a random encounter and just turns out to be a great collaboration later on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
And now we're married.
well, oh wait, you guys are married?
Oh,
Now we're
yeah.
married, yeah, sorry.
Oh,
We should
oh shit.
we should have,
Well,
prefaced that.
Yeah, yeah. Coming up on our 3rd year anniversary.
oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this project is like part of it's kind of like a collaboration, not just artistic, but also personal and
Yeah, emotionally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
emotional.
really
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. R r we're really trying to build it into, like, a brand, not just,
Mhm.
what we do on stage, but also connect with our listeners in multiple ways. Um,
Mhm.
Yeah, and
yeah.
speaking to that, I mean, I think, it all happened kind of by accident. As Danielle mentioned before, during the pandemic, I started, I was writing what would become the album, and, uh, I started live streaming with just me and an acoustic guitar and, like, backing tracks, and then people started saying, "Oh, you're gonna do this again? You're gonna do this again?" And then it sort of just kind of built from there steadily, and, at the time, I was getting her into Xbox and Call of Duty and all that stuff, and, so then that became part of it, and we started talking about mental health during those gameplay sessions, and so it all kind of, like, made it all kind of became this Orphan Prodigy sort of, business umbrella.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So it was like mental health, gaming, and then there was the music, and they all somehow tied together, and, it was really crazy how people would kind of migrate from the gaming to the music or vice versa, and, the mental health stuff, and then on top of that, I was always talking about my kind of I grew up with, gay parents, and I'm adopted, so, I've always been
Mhm.
like the outlier, and so a lot of people, I think, connected with that. So
Mhm. Yeah, I was reading some articles on you guys in preparation. I knew I wanted to talk about the Call of Duty streaming, but before I start nerding out, because that can be a whole tangent. As you can tell, I'm kind of a nerd. But
hey, you're
uh,
talking to the biggest nerds. We're like the nerdiest couple in the biz.
Yeah.
I found my people.
Yeah, man.
But so Orphan Prodigy is not just a band; you see it as like an overall brand and like community. It sounds like.
Absolutely. I think community speaks to it exactly.
Hmm.
Um, just having all of our listeners and yeah, and like I said earlier, connecting with them in multiple ways and providing an outlet is just it's been really fun to expand and see how far we can take it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I never, imagined that we'd be partnering with, like, brands that we, like, use daily, that are, what we partnered with,
Comfort.
Comfort, like this viral hoodie brand that, like, they have sweatshirts and sweatpants that are supposed to kind of, make you feel a little more calm because they're weighted,
Hmm.
and, so
They're
it's
like
just
slightly oversized. They also have a weighted blanket. So we love the brand itself. So
yeah,
yeah.
and so working with, brands like Comfort, and, it's just been crazy to be able to do that, to be in a position to do that. We're really grateful for that.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. If you have any extra promo hoodies, I wouldn't say no to one. I would love to try those
Oh,
out.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
send us your
definitely.
info, man.
Oh, okay. We'll talk after the show. But yeah, so you've talked a little bit about it on the community building. You guys will do everything from, you do your live performances, you live stream concerts, you're in the studio, but you're also, doing COD streams and interacting with fans. You guys are fully independent, right? You're not with a label?
Yeah, we're fully independent. We're actually on my label, which is Ian Keller Music,
Oh,
LLC.
nice.
Yeah, so
So you own everything, or
yeah,
you're not
so
sharing it with a, record label at
no,
all?
no, so, we're very lucky, we're kind of, I don't really see a lot of bands doing this type of model that we have. The closest band I can sort of think of is Men I Trust is kind of has a similar model.
Mhm,
Like we saw them in Brooklyn, over this
And
past summer,
Foresters.
and they were just, it was so cool to just see them come out and set up their own gear. Like, we're the same way. We just come out, set up our own gear. We might have 1 or 2 stage hands, but,
mhm,
typically, it's a very small crew, for the live show. Behind the scenes, we have managers. We're very lucky that they're so ambitious and really wanna push the music and our vision.
mhm,
And then we have, the production team that helps us with the streams and stuff. So it's a small, but I don't know. It's like a 15-person team, I think, at this point.
mhm. What's the experience like going independent compared to going with a label? Because, my background is more in stand-up comedy, so, But they say that all comedians want to be musicians, and I have a lot of musician friends, and the stereotypical thing is always trying to get signed, and you hear all these stories of people getting screwed over by their record labels.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the I guess the question is from I want to ask is what have been the benefits from going independent for you guys, and what yeah, what are the benefits for going independent?
Uh, Creative control, I think, is the top one. But moreover, you kind of, you're working for yourself. I
Mhm,
mean, at the end of the day, you're deciding how much you're putting into it, how much you're getting out of it. And I was in my first band. We were in a situation where we are going to do a production deal with a major label, and they wanted to 360 us, and it was basically, for those of you who don't know what that means, it's basically the label will take a chunk of your merch, chunk of your touring, chunk of your record, your album sales,
mhm.
or streaming now. So basically, you're getting screwed, and then on top of that, we were going to get screwed by the studio that wanted to produce us. So we were going to be 360 twice, and so it's just like we would be in debt forever. That's
Mhm,
so the big thing there, I think, on so many levels, for your own sanity, creative freedom, financial independence, and you're not a lot of majors, if they don't think a release is good enough, they can shelve your record for 6 years or indefinitely,
mhm.
and they'll say you still can't, because of the deal you signed, you still can't release music under your own name. I mean, they own you,
Right.
and so I don't want to deal with majors. We just have no desire anymore. It's not the same. The
Mhm,
musical landscape, the business from a business standpoint, is just not the same as it was in the '80s and '90s.
mhm.
Getting a record
You know
deal. Like, I remember when my drummer came into the band, he was like, "Oh, can't wait to, like, I've been trying my whole life to get signed and all this stuff." I was like, "You don't need all that, you just need a good paying gig and just stability and, independence, for all the reasons I just mentioned."
Mhm. And I guess
And
go ahead.
dedication. I think there's a big piece here that um Ian doesn't really speak to, but how, dedicated he really is every single day working hard to, again, take Orphan Prodigy as far as he can.
Mhm,
Um, I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah, it's persistence, and just, I can't not be creating. My mind doesn't turn off. I think that's part of the anxiety thing and the panic thing. It's just, just doesn't shut off. I have to constantly be, creating or being immersed. It's that's,
mhm.
hence the Xbox addiction. And you know, so and songwriting addiction. So
Yeah, no, I really like how you brought that part up because you're the part about your brain always working, and that involves that leads to always creating and always being immersed. I mean, I'm a PS5 guy at this point, so I mean, I similarly I like being immersed, but like for me, it's like my calm is when I'm behind a microphone, in front of a camera, or at a concert, or just dancing. And I guess that's that double edged coin of having anxiety. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of pain that comes with it, but it also leads to a lot of creativity and a lot of opportunities to live a beautiful life. Um,
yeah, absolutely. I think anxious people, or intent. I think it's safe to say we're both pretty intense people, even if we're shy at times. I mean, I think it lends itself to having extremely low lows, but also extremely high highs, and
mhm,
there's very little in between. And
mhm,
but when you get those highs, man, and they're just natural, happy, great days, there's nothing like it.
Yeah,
mhm,
absolutely. I think, that's I would never trade it in, right? I mean, speaking to Ian's point of being intense and, having anxiety that likes to go off the charts sometimes, like like a lot of people. I totally blanked on my thought.
Yeah, it's just,
What was I
it's
saying?
just not worth, trade,
Oh, right, trading it in. No, so being able to, because anxiety is at an ultimate high, you also experience life to the fullest, right?
Mhm.
So I wouldn't take it away. Um, I wouldn't I wouldn't trade it in because even though it hurts sometimes, and it's painful, you get to experience everything to the fullest extent,
Mhm.
and that's what, I think life's all about.
Yeah, love, happiness, beauty, sadness is all it all fits.
And rocking out at a concert.
Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, I I feel like we're in a time where, like, at least ever since COVID, we're living in a time where people are either living in that heightened highs and lows, or you're trying to maintain a complete baseline. Like, with the internet, we have, unlimited opportunities for pleasure, but like COVID gave us the opportunity to like think about what we really want to do. I mean, you guys made your album at that time, the first couple songs. At the time, really was introspective, and that's when I decided to move to California from Boston. Um, it's right now. We have, like, the modern technology gives us opportunities to either just keep, not feeling, or have those highs and lows. Like you guys, like you were talking about, the business is different nowadays than what it was in the '90s. Like, the internet's given you the opportunity, in large part, to go independent. I assume, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it in large part, if it wasn't for the technology, listen, I mean, people can go to the ends of the earth to argue their points about whether, the benefits and the pros and cons of technology,
Yeah.
right now, especially given the advancements in AI and stuff. But at the end of the day, these things are just tools. I mean, for me, like,
Hmm.
I can't live without my laptop, and that's how I write songs, is on a laptop. So,
Yeah.
in a very, albeit in a very rudimentary way, but it's just, it's one of those things where I think the internet has really allowed us to be the introverts that we are, but also turn this band into scale it into a major project.
Hmm. Well, I really want to go into the music. So I listen to Medication for the Modern World. So that's the only thing you have released right now under Orphan Prodigy, correct?
Yeah, that album. Yeah,
Okay.
that's our album.
I am really digging this. I was listening to it last night. I was listening to it this morning. I was really enjoying it. I put it on in the background when I was driving to cross town to get this mic from my buddy, and I was thinking this music is perfect for driving down the highway in LA with all the lights going past. I felt like I was in, like a Blade Runner movie or something like
That's
that.
awesome.
It was, yeah, no, I was really digging it. I think, was it Vodka? I'm sorry, off the top of my head. Vodka,
Vodka
what's the
Build.
one? Vodka
Mhm.
what? Sorry.
Vodka Build. Yeah, see,
Vodka Build.
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
really these. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, no, there's a delay, so it's it's, no, I just, yeah, I think that might have been my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah, we've been, closing the set with that one, and then if we get an encore, we do the last track on the album. But,
Mhm,
yeah, that one's really special to me. It's kind of an idea I've had for, almost 15 years, but, meeting Danielle and kind of, experiencing life with her has really kind of, that song started to write itself, but that was one of the later tracks that I had finished for the album. But, yeah, it's really about just kind of like two souls that are watching the world around them fall apart, and it's like, well, should we save it? Should we let it burn? Either way, we're together. it reminds me of that last scene with Helena Bonham Carter and Edward Norton, just watching that building just blow up.
Mhm,
It's, very, very, very much a moment like that.
mhm. The track that's, most streamed, I saw was, "Traitor." What was what was the inspiration behind that track?
So I went through a really bad breakup a long time ago. This is like in high school, and so a very long time ago.
Mhm,
Not that long ago, but long enough. And I originally thought that song, that idea that I had was about that relationship sort of falling apart. But when I was writing it for this album, I realized how much it wasn't about that, because like when it started charting on Mediabase and like everybody was kind of like freaking out about it, I think it like peaked at like number 27 or something.
oh,
Mhm.
nice.
um
Yeah, 23,
and
maybe.
23 maybe, whatever it was. People started asking me like what what is this about and all that stuff and the inspiration, and I started to re-examine it um under a microscope, because I was like, why is this song? Because this song that I'm like kind of ashamed of, but I knew I had to throw it on there because it had like a nice
Mhm,
melody or whatever. Um, I was like, why is this resonating with so many people? And I realized that I had this epiphany. I was like, well, it's about rejection as a whole, not really about just, it's not isolated to just relationship territory. It's much more broad than that.
mhm,
It's a broader concept. And honestly, at the heart of it, it's really me just screaming out who I am as a person and what I've dealt with, my experience in life. And I think ultimately that's why people relate to it so much.
mhm. So you didn't even wanna put it on the album? Like, you were
No,
saying that
no, I didn't. I just
it's a
think
great song.
I just think it's very, like, it's a very basic thing. It's like 3 chords, but,
Mhm,
what is it, like Bono said, like, "All you need is 2 chords and the truth."
mhm,
It's one of those songs. And then when I was producing it for this project, I was like, all right, well, how do I make it fun for me? So like I edited the drum intro, and that's sort of like an homage to my favorite Offspring song. That was my first favorite rock band. So that's an homage to Gone Away by the Offspring, actually.
mhm,
And so yeah, I had to make it fun for myself. Now it's much more of I enjoy playing it. It's a fun song to play live.
I wanted to bring that up, so I wanted to hit on your musical influences. So I read that, yeah, you're a fan of The Offspring. I was happy when I heard that because I saw them live last year at When We Were Young Fest, and it was a ton of fun. They're a great band.
Yeah.
What other musical influences would you say play a part in your music?
Um, we actually I just wanted to say we actually saw them, on the Supercharged tour this
Mhm.
year, or last year rather, at Jones Beach, and, I actually went to, school in Arizona with somebody who works on the crew now for them, and so we were able to hook up and link up, and that was fun. So shout out to Emily, if you're out there.
Shout out Emily.
Uh, and, uh yeah,
Right.
other influences. I don't have a top 5, I have a top 7. So it's Offspring, Rage Against the Machine, Nirvana, Weezer, Metallica, I said it out of order, so I'm confused. Primus and
Chill.
Chili Peppers. Thank you.
I'm gonna have to check out Primus. I think that out of all the bands, that's the only one I haven't really listened to.
Very different stuff.
What genre are they? I'm pulling them
Oh,
up right
man,
now.
that is a hard
That's a
one.
good
You
question.
could say, like, funk metal, I guess,
Yeah.
Funk
but
metal.
it's like it's
I'm
like
gonna have to
it's
check
like
this out.
It's like quirky.
it's very quirky. The bass playing is, like, kind of like the whole point,
Yeah.
and, it's very
Mhm,
percussive, but, like,
Yeah, the bass player is actually the front man,
yeah.
which is unique,
wow.
I think.
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
guitar player steps back, and it's very textural playing, it's very interesting stuff. I mean, they're just,
But they're
an
all great.
amazing
Yeah.
band. We just
Yeah.
saw them, uh, we just we actually
Where
so we're from New York, but we actually relocated to, Connecticut. I
Mhm,
actually in Queens. We were living in Queens in 2023,
Mhm. That
and
too.
I had an incident where somebody held me at gunpoint in my own
Oh,
neighborhood, which I'd
Jesus.
grown up for. I'd been in that neighborhood all my life, and never ran into. I lived in crappy apartments around the area and stuff when I was first starting out. My parents kicked me out, but I've never encountered anything like that. Thankfully, I was able to talk the guy down and just not have any bullets be unloaded.
Yeah.
Thank God.
So that was, I think, the tipping point where I was like, "We're getting out of the city, and we're just gonna, become suburbanites,
And we love it.
and we love it."
Uh, Welcome to the suburbanite club. I grew up in the suburb. I'm glad I haven't spent a ton of time in Connecticut. So I mean, without doxing you guys, I mean I can take this out. But like, what part of Connecticut are you guys in? Are you guys near
Brantford,
Hartford? Ranford.
Yeah,
Brantford,
like
Okay.
New Haven,
it's
yeah.
like right outside New Haven. Yeah,
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I grew up right outside of Boston, and I had a similar story where I was walking home from the bus one day, and some drunk dude started harassing this special needs kid, and I told him off, and it ended up with a scuffle where I got my lip busted. Definitely not on the same level as you went through, but yeah, it's similar. Where like, I lived in this town all my life, and shit like that doesn't usually happen here. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
I haven't. Oh, go ahead.
no, it's unnerving when you're like you said, you've lived somewhere your entire life. You have this kind of outline in your mind of what it is, and then it's just in 1 second, it's just completely uprooted and disturbed.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's why I like LA so much because I had that outline in my mind that I always have to have my head on the swivel, and I've got into some near scrapes, but it's been a lot better than the news or people make it out to be. So I guess my expectations were so low that the actuality is good. But getting back to that incident, how did it affect your process, like, or just how do you heal from that? Given that, you struggle
That
with
was scary.
agoraphobia. Was it
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of support. I kind of my agoraphobia crept back in.
Mhm.
I'm not going to sugarcoat that, and obviously, it really, like I said, it really shook me. And even though I was able to kind of empathize with this person and ultimately get them not to do anything that they couldn't take back. But
Mhm.
I just remember, I got home, I told Danielle what happened, and I was just like, can't believe this happened, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
we had
think
a rough few days. I mean, we actually spent time. I'm not sure if you're familiar with like Long Island, New York area, but there's this place called Fire Island
Okay.
that is kind of like Cape Cod where everybody rides their bike. There's no vehicles. It's a very small little quaint island, and we spent like a good week there, just
Mhm.
the two of us.
yeah, so yeah, we just kind of we had to decompress from it and just kind of, figure out what we were going to do next. It was one of those kind of pivotal moments where it's like, okay, like I've always been a city kid, but
Mhm.
when you're a city person, you move to the suburbs. I mean, you just don't look back. I mean, it's like, whoa, like that. I mean, I guess, I'm speaking for myself and I think for Danielle as well, but it's just so much more relaxing and you're
Mhm.
not worried. I mean, you can't get the food that you want at the hours that you want. And that's a big fucking problem. Sorry. That's a big
Oh,
problem.
you can cuss. It's fine.
Thank God. Because we curse a lot.
I do
Um,
too.
yeah, it's in the end, it's just verbal punctuation, right? Yeah, I mean, we haven't looked back since. It's been a great experience. It's allowed us to kind of build this soundstage here and do all of our streams in a place that's not like we don't have to worry about neighbors or anything.
Mhm.
It's just
We're home
con-
buddies, so it's very comfortable.
yeah, I mean, I'm
Mhm.
not gonna lie, we hate touring. We hate going on the road. But it's something that, we just once you're there and you're playing in front of people that,
Yeah,
it just
exactly.
clicks and it's just
Hmm.
amazing.
Mhm.
I love playing live. I hate we hate the traveling part of it. So
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys are able to make it out to LA because I can't wait to see you guys live. Or maybe I get to go to New York and catch you guys live. But I I hope you're able to. I hope you're able to justify the struggles of traveling to LA sometime because I would definitely come out and get some people to come out with me.
Yeah, man, I
Um,
think we're hitting Los Angeles, I think we're hitting Los Angeles sometime soon. I gotta check, I'm not sure.
okay, well, keep me updated. I'll give you guys a shout on my IG. And this show should be out by then, so you can it'll hopefully give some promo for that as well. Um, yeah, I'm glad that the transfer to the suburban life has been good for you guys. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Sorry about not as many late night dinner options.
Tragic,
But
tragic,
yeah.
really is.
But thank you for sharing that story. I wasn't expecting that after on the research I've done for you, but I really appreciate you being vulnerable like that. Not just with that story, but your whole career. We've hit on during this because what viewers I do have, they've reached out to me, and some of the interviews as well. It's they've gotten a lot out of hearing these some of these stories from my guests, and some of my guests have gotten a lot of out of sharing their stories. So just
Mhm.
thank you for sharing. I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. I'm sure somebody who hears this is going to relate and hopefully get some guidance on how to deal with traumatic instances like that and other mental health stuff. Saying like what you're trying to do with your music. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So your songwriting process, that is something I am trying to learn right now. Songwriting, like I love writing. I love journaling. I was very big into writing philosophy theses back in college. Writing is something that's a strength of mine, except when it comes to songwriting. My brain can't wrap around it. And every time I get the chance to ask songwriters what your process is, I take it. So, how exactly does your process work for songwriting?
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, it's the most exciting thing, like, the most inspirational thing is just seeing,
Mhm.
opening up my laptop and seeing a blank staff of music ready to, just waiting to be written. I know that sounds like really cliche and almost pretentious. I promise you I'm not that pretentious except when it comes to coffee, truthfully, for me, it's very just it's something that I have to do. It starts with drums, from usually, and, then I get to, like, the guitars and the synths and stuff. It's usually the fun stuff, so it's like drums, synths, and then, like, the melody comes last, ironically,
Mhm.
and, I think you can probably hear that in the songs too. But, the lyrics, I don't really ever, edit them, so it's really just what I sing on the spot in the demo, and then I track that or retrack something if it needs to be retracked, but, um, what you see is what you get. Just, the unfiltered energy and words that come out, nothing is ever pre-written. Maybe there's, like, words or phrases here and there, but, nothing's ever planned to be recorded on the spot, it just happens, so,
So all your lyrics are improvised on the spot?
yes,
You don't
yes.
write them beforehand? Oh,
Uh,
wow.
like I like I said, to be fair, I mean, like, there might
Mhm.
be a phrase that I've taken down in my phone that's in my head at the time that I'm recording or tracking that song or whatever, but,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, like, "Getaway" is a great example. The second track on the album is, it's just like, "I don't like your face." Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like,
Mhm.
and it's honestly just me being comfortable and confident enough to say, like, something so silly and bizarre and almost like, just snappy, just like, "I don't like your face." Like, it gets you just right into, like, "Okay, well, I know who I am. I'm gonna make a judgment call." It's a
Mhm.
metaphor, right? It's not literally saying, "I don't like your face," because that would be mean, but, I mean, because my face sucks. So
I don't
I
think so.
beg to differ. Yeah, no. So you start off, you might go in with like one pre-planned phrase, but then you just riff based off of that.
Yeah, yeah. There's no like
Wow.
the vocals are just completely, I would say 98% improvised. It's always been that way. Like I've never been, a good storyteller, and I think I tell my story through the instruments, and then the
Hmm.
vocals sort of support the music, um, which is almost a little primacy. Um, but a fun fact for me is that when I was 15 years old, I have to correct that because in a previous interview I said I was 16, but I was actually 15 at the time. Metallica's management, Q Prime, I grew up with their kids, so um, he came and heard us play once, and he was like, "Oh, you guys are all right." I think he felt like we were good enough to like do a demo, and so he paid for us to do a reel to reel recording at a studio out in Long Island.
Hmm.
And I remember when I got there, I saw a copy of Spin magazine on the engineer's desk, and had one of my heroes, Rivers Cuomo from Weezer, on the cover. And so immediately I opened the article, I read it front to back, and he was talking about how he wrote 3 songs a day. And so from that point on, I was like, if I'm gonna do this professionally and for real, I'm gonna be like Rivers Cuomo. I have to fucking write 3 songs a day. So from that point on, 15 years old, I was writing 3 songs a day.
And you're still doing that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people talk about meditation and stuff like that, which certainly I should do more of. But for me, that discipline allows me to sort of have that reflective, meditative state.
Yeah, I mean, meditation takes all different forms. I've heard people say exercise, lifting weights could be a form of meditation, even prayer. And I mean, from the way it sounds like that songwriting for you is a form of meditation, like being able to get in a trance like that. I don't know. You were talking about like your story way to story tell is through music. I feel like just the way my brain's wired, like that storytelling is what I can do, but songwriting and music, it's something that's always I need to put it doesn't come as natural for me. Like it's like I remember, going through orchestra growing up. It was more disciplined than it was, free
Creative
flow.
freedom.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like getting into that meditative state, like you're able to. Like I can do that on stage doing stand up. But it's a lot harder for me to do that playing an instrument, you know, writing song lyrics. Once I get it down, like I can sort of do that, but it's a lot. I don't know. It seems like it's just I respect people who have that type of gift because I feel like it's something that like certain minds are wired for.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, for her form is like she'll crochet. She's been getting into
Oh.
crocheting,
mm,
and but the real truth is that you know our our cooperative state, our cooperative meditative state is playing Call of Duty and Arc Raiders and Battlefield 6,
Oh.
and like that's like like
Co-op
we put all
games.
we've put like we won't tour without our 32-inch
Setup.
gaming monitors, the Series X's, the custom controllers. Like, I think I have it right here, actually, and show it to you.
oh yes, I have my
You got
Oh,
paddles?
nice. You have paddles because we use paddles. I don't know if you can see.
no, I gotta get the pad. What, did you take off one of the joysticks?
No, 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 no. That's not supposed to happen.
Because I was like,
What?
holy, is that like?
No. So I use a
Oh,
lifted joystick, so I get
okay.
precision. But
Oh wow.
so
Incredible.
And you
it's
got
got a
the D pads. You have a custom D pad, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
and, forgive the dirtiness, and then I have the triggers set to, very short so that you really don't have to put much motion into much, effort into pulling the trigger. There's 3 settings. It's short, medium, and then long press, like the default.
Huh.
So I have it very short so that you really don't have to.
And the paddles.
And I'm sorry, the paddles. Yes, the paddles. So like I
Yeah,
have these.
on the back.
So this is like for, you can reload, you can swap, weapon swap really quickly, or dive, roll, or slide,
What is that not on the normal Xbox Series
No.
X?
You have to
Yeah,
get the Series 2 controller, the Elite Series
Elite Series, yeah.
controllers.
oh wow, yeah. I was an Xbox kid growing up, so
Oh, you were? Okay.
oh yeah, no, I only joined the dark side after the Xbox One came out. I was like,
Yeah.
I have to be always connected to Wi-Fi, and I can't share my games. Like,
Didn't they take away the DRM after post launch?
They did, but I was like, you know what? Halo sucks now. It's like, the Gears of War sucks now. Ratchet and Clank is on this, and I can play all the good cross-platform games. And a big part of it was that my friend gave me a free PS4. So
that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. But trust me, yeah, exactly. But when I have a PS5 actually on my desk right next to me.
Are you playing?
The reason why? Okay.
Are you playing 4K 120 hertz? Are you playing at the highest refresh rate you can?
Probably not, because my second monitor is some cheapo thing that I never use to edit photos because the colors suck on it. But yeah, I got the PS5 because I think it was cheaper than a Series X. But why did I switch? Oh yeah, it was because I can also import all my old games from PS5 on a PS4 onto PS5.
Yeah.
So they caught me in their grip, but trust me, I love old 360 era. Like we did not know how good we had it. We were living in the golden age of gaming then.
I used to host LAN parties on the OG Xbox, and then obviously with the Halo 2 days were just phenomenal. And then Star Wars Battlefront came out, the OG one. Just amazing to have like 16 people in a room all playing on these gigantic TVs.
It's so funny seeing pictures of the LAN parties. I never was part of that, but I did grow up playing video games. N64 was
N64.
Oh yeah,
it was like and PS2 was like I'm an Xbox guy by heart, but PS2 was like a golden era.
My one and only regret in life is trading in my N64 for PS2.
Blasphemy. Blasphemy.
Not having my N64.
I have my N64 in that closet.
My Game Boy. I don't have my Game Boy. Like those two things. But he brought me from the dark side because I was playing on PS3.
Which was the dark side in and of itself. Let's be honest.
And what were you playing on Xbox One?
I had Xbox One at the time. So
that was like pandemic. So then when the new ones came out, next gen, I got the Xbox Series S, the white one, and I think maybe like a year ago, Ian was like, "What are we doing? Like, we need to upgrade you."
Well, the whole thing was, with the Series S, there were certain limitations. I'm sorry, you can stop us if we're going on.
No, I wanted. Please keep going. I've been saving this. I've been saving this. It might go a little over if that's cool with you guys, but I definitely want to nerd out.
So with the thing with her, that we were playing this game called Ghost Recon
Wildlands.
Breakpoint, the next one.
Yeah, Breakpoint.
And so with me, I mentioned before about 4K and refresh rates. And so we have these, we put we're homebodies. We put a lot of effort into our setups.
Mm-hmm.
We really do. We have, the 65-inch, and she's got a 55-inch LG OLED. And then we got the 32-inch LG OLED monitors. But the point being, when we were playing Breakpoint, I got to 60 frames per second, but the Series S was capped at 30, and that is like trudging water, dude. Like when you watch that on the screen, you're just like, oh my god, and the resolutions drop down to like 1080p or less from 4K. or 1440, whatever it is, native. But it's really just I was like, no, we cannot have you having this experience. We got to upgrade you.
To be fair, like I didn't even know. I was
She
like,
didn't even
"Oh, this
notice.
could be better. Okay."
I was seeing I was 'cause we play side by side, right? So I'm seeing her frames just tearing, tearing, and tearing and tearing. I'm just like, this is like watching her play an N64 game in 2022 or whatever it
I had
was
no
at the
idea.
time.
I'm like,
So it was brutal. So yeah, we got her a Series X and haven't looked back since. She loves it.
yeah. I have my own Elite Pad, my
Yeah,
Elite controller, and yeah, we play like Arc Raiders every night now.
yeah. Arc Raiders. It took a while to get
I need to
into
get
for
on
me because have you been playing it?
No, I've heard it's really fun and it's taken over Twitch, but I'm waiting for it to go on sale before I even consider getting it. Um,
Absolutely
yeah,
worth it.
It's
Definitely
yeah,
very cool. It's a learning curve for sure. Um,
the first like 30 hours are
oh god,
brutal,
yeah.
absolutely brutal. But once you get over that hump, you're like, okay, okay, this is I see why it's so popular. And the guys at Embark Studios who created the game are some of them are ex Battlefield developers, which is ironic.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love Battlefield. So that actually might be my next purchase. I've been waiting for
Get
Battlefield
it.
6 to
Oh,
go on
Do
Battlefield.
it.
sale.
Do it.
I was not a fan of Battlefield until Battlefield 6. Like,
Okay.
it's
It's
and
not.
the New York maps are awesome and amazing, and, um, playing the campaign was the way that I got comfortable with the game. So,
Okay.
coming out of that campaign and playing the multiplayer was exactly what I needed, and it was awesome, and we've been playing Battlefield more than COD, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. No,
So
I'm go ahead.
no, go ahead. Say what you're gonna
Well,
say.
I was gonna say I'm an OG Battlefield stan. Like I was playing it back in high school. I was playing, Bad Company 2, which was my all time favorite one. Battlefield 3, I skipped 4. But when Battlefield 6, the beta came out for it, I started playing it, and everyone was right. Like this is just like OG Battlefield. I'm back in my element. And but going back to what you were saying about frame rate issues, I remember like the first hour or two of me playing it, it was fine. Like minor bugs, but it's a beta.
Yeah.
And then like none of my shots were registering. Like I get killed, and even though I laid a whole mag into the guy
Yeah,
who was
yeah.
firing at me. I was like laying shotgun rounds into people, and it just became unplayable. So I was like, okay, uninstall. It was fun, but I will. Yeah, I can't wait till I get it for real. Um, but there's
Yeah.
been one question I've been dying to ask you, but but you wanted to say something real
No,
quick.
I was just gonna say, where I have to show him because we're talking about Battlefield. Hold on one second.
Oh.
Oh, geez. Oh, what's going? Oh, you got the framed up covers for the what is it? Phantom Edition? That's a special
Yes.
edition one.
Yes, the Phantom Edition. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
can I? What does Phantom Edition get you?
you get a really cool. Sounds like I'm like partnered with them. We're not sponsored by EA,
but
but
if
but
EA finds this,
Yes.
yeah, no, dude, losing Vince Zampella was
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that was tragic.
he was the creative director for Battlefield, right?
Yes, and he was part of Infinity Ward, who did COD Modern Warfare 4, the original one. So really,
Yeah, yeah, I remember
but I
that
will
guy.
say to that point, what I wanted to say earlier, and this ties in, is that Battlefield 6 feels like if Battlefield and Call of Duty had a child. That's
Okay,
where it is. There's a lot of it's very snappy. It's a lot.
I was gonna
It's a
say.
little more snappy than Battlefield 4 and 3, which is the games that she doesn't like as much. So I know you said you were an OG like Battlefield dude from back in the day, so you're probably referring to titles like Bad Company and 3 and 4.
yeah,
So it's a little more tight. The maps aren't as big as you'd probably like. There isn't that sense of like it's a little more like engagement. But
Okay.
you can dial it back if you choose to. I mean, they added a casual mode, how Call of Duty did with Warzone. So it's less. It feels a little less like intense.
Mhm.
So I highly recommend. Is the point I'm trying to make.
Absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
I was a COD player, or I am a COD player, thanks to this one here. So transferring over to Battlefield was really hard for me. But with
Mhm.
this last one, it I can't speak
She plays
more
she
about
plays
it.
support
Yeah, I
medic.
play support.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, same.
I'm assault.
yeah, I love it. I love it, and I don't know, Black Ops right now is we're yeah, we like Warzone. We'll play Warzone, but
Warzone's been a lot more fun. Actually, to be
yeah.
fair, Warzone feels like what Battlefield. It has that same pacing as Battlefield,
Mhm.
the OG games now, because there's like
Mhm.
space to breathe and you kind of do stuff. And
Yeah. Yeah,
some
I've noticed that. I try. So this is actually one question I really wanted to hit on. I was thinking about saving it for the end, but I feel like it's more apropos right now. RedSec or Warzone?
Warzone for sure.
Warzone.
Right
Yeah.
now, we have
Yeah.
season 2 drops next week for Battlefield, so we'll see. But
Uh-huh.
there's just so many interactions and encounters that we've had. We've been making so many friends lately. A
Yeah.
lot we again, we play with a lot of fans,
Mhm.
and with Warzone and stuff. When Battle Royale first came out, I was like, "What the hell is this?" Like PUBG and stuff, and then Warzone, I was like, "I'm not into this at all." Like, I like multiplayer.
Mhm.
Modern Warfare 2019, like for me, that's like peak Call of Duty multiplayer. I know a lot of people will hate
Mhm.
me for that, but I think that game was lightning in a bottle, and that's what got you into COD, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
now Warzone, compared to multiplayer, is where it's at. I'd
Oh,
rather
I
play
can't.
Warzone.
Multiplayer is unplayable right now,
Yeah, it's just
unfortunately.
unplayable.
It's and yeah.
Sorry,
I
sorry, Call of Duty.
Yeah,
We
sorry.
love you.
I know I feel bad
Waiting for
saying.
Modern Warfare
I
4
feel
next
bad
year. This year.
saying even Warzone
Wait,
over
they announced
RedSec,
Modern Warfare 4?
Yeah, that's coming out. Infinity Ward,
like
Modern Warfare 4.
2027, right?
No, 2026. This year.
Oh,
This no. I know it always feels like that. It feels
it's
like the next year
yeah.
because it's in the holiday season,
Yeah,
but it's
right,
November.
right.
So,
Mhm.
Oh, birthday.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Well, hopefully it's
Love that.
not hopefully they don't just take the Warzone map and use it to make a campaign that's like 4
No.
hours.
Oh my god, that was horrible. Modern Warfare 3. Remember that campaign where it's the
Oh,
open missions? That was
yeah. Sometimes it all blurs together for me though, to be honest. All the
even the Black Ops 7 campaign. That felt like it just
Yeah,
lackluster.
no,
I
I did not like I didn't like the futuristic piece that they were bringing to it. Like it just it's just not clicking. I don't know, it's
But
not.
finally, though, I just want to say final, and then I'll shut up. But finally, they had a cooperative campaign. We haven't seen that since World at War in
Yeah.
2009, 2008, something like that.
Yeah, that
So,
was
It's been
cool.
that long?
yeah, yeah. I know. It's hard to believe, but you look it
We
up and
love
it's like
co-op games, so that was cool. I mean, we've also played like Split Fiction and
amazing game.
what was the other one? The original one?
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. Those
Mhm.
2 games are beautiful, beautiful co-op games. Like,
Beautiful is a good word.
yeah, like absolutely. Um, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, you wanna
no, no. I look. This is indulging me. I'm sorry to any listener who's not a gamer who just wanted to learn about the music industry and how to emulate these guys' success. But I don't care. It's my show. It's
it
called Off
comes
the
with the
Mark for a reason.
territory.
Yes. I could go on for hours.
So could we.
So could we?
Yeah, yeah, but just for the sake of your time and the time of my listeners, I will run through the last 2 questions I have for you, and maybe at some point, if you guys start streaming again, I would love to. Wait, is there
Yeah,
crossplay?
we'd love to have you
Yeah,
on our
absolutely.
live stream.
That
Not an
would
if,
be
but
sick.
when, because we will be doing that.
Yeah, we do it every week, so, as soon as next week, maybe.
I would love that. Do you guys don't happen to one more thing for sorry audience? Do you guys play Space Marine 2?
Oh, we love that. That was Warhammer.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Oh, it's great.
For the Emperor! Courage and honor, brother! I'm so happy.
Yo, so we loved that game. It was so gorgeous. It was beautiful, 4K 60. Oh my god, you have
Yeah.
oh my god, just that great campaign, great co-op campaign.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god. Oh wait. Oh, there's a co. Oh yeah, it is. There is co-op capabilities. Yeah,
Yeah,
me and my brother play that from time to time, and it's oh my gosh, I love that game. I was playing it earlier this week. I finally finished the campaign. It is I I played the first game back in high school, and intermittently growing since then. And the fact that they brought it back after what, like a 10-year hiatus
yeah.
after the company that made it, THQ, got sold. It was just it was in a time when game companies treat gamers like shit. Everything they did, everything that gamers wanted, and it was and it's perfect. And I can't wait until Space Marine 3. I want five. I want to fight, but I just like, oh, give me orcs, Tyranids, Tau, Necrons. Just give me all the races in one game, and I will pay the like $100 that games now are gonna cost.
Oh
But
my
that would
god,
actually
so
be
true,
worth
so
it.
true.
Go down, yeah.
Absolutely true. And no, but that was another lightning in a bottle. It was just like a great game. We just couldn't wait to keep coming back to it and play it out. It was just such a beautifully crafted game.
Yeah, and like it's bring a lot of visibility to Warhammer as a franchise.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, it's I don't know. I really love the idea of Warhammer because it's I think one of the reasons why it's popular right now. It's like the whole lore of how familiar you guys with the lore of 40K.
Yeah, semi. I mean, I grew up and, you'd see everybody kind of playing it, physically. And
Hmm.
I was like in the comic book shop back when comic book stores were a thing. And now
Rest in
it's like
peace.
and like you said, it's really kind of the Warhammer coming out, a Space Marine coming out as a game has really brought light to the franchise.
Mhm.
So it's really helped us kind of get into the lore a bit.
Yeah, and the big thing for me why I love the franchise so much, or at least one of the big reasons, is that it takes place in a time of decline. Like it's after all these different empires, including the human empire, is in a series of decline, and everyone's just trying to keep things together. It feels a lot like our time, but it gives me hope in that, like, if their period of decline, they can still like push forward and do great things. Like in that campaign with, in Space Marine 2, it gives hope for me and other people at this time that we're able to do great things. Like it's kind of like with your music. You guys are making this album, you're taking your mental health and your experiences and turning into something beautiful. And so that way some guy on the other side of the country has something to play on his lonely nights driving down LA highways. Yeah, bring it full circle. See,
That's
audience, I'm not just nerding out about grim dark future of 40K.
No, beautiful imagery as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We are I told you guys an hour and we're 10 minutes over that. So apologies if you guys have a busy schedule today, but we'll wrap this up quick.
No problem.
Um, Future projects and advice for independent artists.
This year, we're focusing in on the in-person shows because the, hybrid stuff, while it is great, um, there's much more of a demand this year for us to be touring in person. We have opportunities to go to Asia and Germany
Oh,
and Australia and all these other places. So we're really thrilled to be to have the opportunity and to have the demand. It's really humbling and we're honored. I think we're doing Bridging the Music mini fest at the Delancey in New York City on April 9th. So that's going to be the kickoff to it. So we're really excited. And then we're
awesome.
also doing a remaster of the album for 2026. So you're gonna get some more ear candy, just a more, just to bring out some more, elements that may have been buried in the first mix. It's gonna give, fans a reason to sort of, re-listen to the record in a new way.
Awesome. Looking forward to listening to that. And any advice for fellow independent musicians trying to make it in the
Y-
scene?
Yes, be unapologetically yourself and never settle. Never compromise your creative vision because I've made that mistake before, and don't do it. Just be yourself. Just completely be yourself. Don't apologize, and as long as you're not hurting anybody, you'll be fine. And don't sign a major deal unless it's like airtight and you have a great lawyer.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, you two, for taking the time to talk. This has been a wonderful conversation.
Thank you. Absolutely.
I'm going to
Absolutely.
do stop the recording, and while that's uploading, I hope to nerd out a little bit more, but I will keep it off the final edit for the sake of our listeners who aren't gamers. But regardless, thank you guys so much. This has been a wonderful conversation. This has been another episode of Off the Mark. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of Off the Mark. Please follow me on all my socials on Instagram, TikTok. The handle for my TikTok is Marc Tyrrell Comedy, all one word, MarcTyrrell Comedy. And I have two Instagram accounts. One is my main, that's just Marc.Tyrrell, and the other one is my comedy account, which is same as my TikTok. Be sure to like and subscribe, share it with your friends. That stuff helps like you wouldn't believe. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.